Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. It's less lions in the camp and more crisps in the champ, I guess, at the moment. A hungry Anthony Yarde in both senses of the word.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
You said crisp, no. Yeah, cancel that. It's always lions in the camp. Always lions in the camp. Always in the camp.
No beetroot.
Huh?
No beetroot.
Not in the jungle.
No?
No, that don't make no sense.
I want to move on, but I need to hear your logic. Why does beetroot not make sense in a sandwich specifically?
Beetroot, you have to eat in a salad. You juice up and make it juice. Actually, I'm gonna try it. But beetroot in a sandwich don't make sense to me. But the reason I want to try it is because I had a pickle and cheese sandwich for the first time I think about 3 years ago. It was so nice. Before I had it, I was saying, oh, that's disgusting.
You couldn't see the logic in it.
Yeah, but that is a nice sandwich.
So the message is keep your mind open, basically. And I have to ask about today's choice of wardrobe as well. Karate Kid fan, perhaps, as a child?
You know what? It's a bandana.
Don't read too much into it.
It's a bandana. I am a fan of Karate Kid, but it's a bandana.
It's just a bandana. Lyndon Arthur, getting to more serious subjects. Why is this the right next fight for you after Kovalev and then the run out in Spain?
Because it's a fight. It makes sense. The money's right. As I said from the beginning of my career, each stage of my career, I'm going to take the fight that makes sense for me. Only big risk fights I'm going to take are big risk, big reward. This fight isn't half of the risk as a Kovalev. But it weighs up because it's still a good reward. Frank Warren even said it in the press conference. The winner, after this fight, you get I think a mandatory sport. Again, that's massive.
Yeah, WBO put out a thing a little while ago. It's a vacant title, obviously matching 2 fights together, winners of that will fight for the vacant belt. So there is a free mandatory slot, and then you're placed probably towards the end of the year, maybe start of next year. Would that be kind of the right time for you to try again for a world title?
Everything's timing. As I said to you before, that fight. Look, the way this works. That fight I could win this fight. Come mandatory. They could offer me the fight for the world title for 50k against a dangerous opponent. It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything needs to be in tune. The only focus for me right now is this fight. The fight I've got coming up now in April. I've always been like this from the beginning of my career. I don't overlook nobody. Not one person, but I overlook. The fight I had in Spain, I didn't promote it, but I was very serious. You had like a week and a half's notice, but that week and a half I was the most serious ever. Because it's a fight. It's not a joke. You're not going in the ring to play about each other. And again, this is what's like I told you about boxing. I've had fights here against British opponents. I've had fights against some journeymen. Not even journeymen actually. I've had fights against people in the top 10. I'm the top 15 when I was WBO European and WBO Intercontinental champion. That gave me less of a fight than the guy I fought in Spain. I swear to you. And I'm saying this honestly. The guy in Spain came to win that fight. He come like, this is my chance. He knew who I was and he said, I beat this guy to change my life. That's how we came to fight. We even clashed heads in the fight. We clashed because he gave it everything and he was swinging his arse. He's got a record of losing. Tunde told me that, yeah, you can go out there and beat me, whatever. Tunde even said to me after the fight, he goes, all the little clips I saw of him, I've never seen him fight like that. So he obviously saw opportunity in this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take no one like it.
Is this kind of another box tick for you in that Lyndon Arthur is kind of a domestic clash, an unbeaten fighter? You haven't really had that kind of domestic rivalry before.
No domestic rivalry. You know what? again, I'm one of the people. I'm just honest. Right now, there's no rivalry between me and Lyndon Arthur. He's just ambitious. I'm ambitious. I'm a knockout artist. He's knocking at people as well. There's not going to be no animosity. Unless I go and take a girl off of him or something, or he tries to get involved in me and my circle. There's no.
It's a long way to travel for that.
There's no problem between me and him. He just wants something. He wants my spot. You get what I'm saying? He wants my spot. That's why he's been calling me out. I've never called him out. I've never called out nobody. But he wants my spot. He wants a name that I built for myself. And that's something that I'm very well aware of. I've always been well aware of. And that's the part of the game, that's part of boxing.
Do you think this is a fight worthy of being a main event in its own right?
155%.
That's very specific.
155%. This fight, I can guarantee it has this card, the boy against Dress. This has shot it right up in terms of interest. A lot of people are interested in this fight. It's my comeback. I gained a lot of fans around the world. It's not only England. Remember, England's as big as one or two states in America. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people in America know who I am. When I go to America, I get a lot of recognition. A lot of people stop me in the street, and that's crazy for me. It's surreal to me. Same thing when I went to Spain, a lot of people know who I am. You know what I'm saying? So it's like world stage, I've tapped into that market. So people do want to see my comeback, which is this fight. So it has risen a lot.
With Canelo Alvarez now moving back down to super middleweight to fight Billy Joe Saunders, we found out yesterday. Who's the number one, in your opinion, light heavyweight in the world?
I know it sounds bizarre, but myself. And again, I'm only going to say this because I'm very confident in my ability, and that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm always going to talk it into existence. People that know what I'm talking about, but it's not bragging or boasting. It's just like you want something for yourself, so you speak of it as it's already happened.
Dream it, believe it, become it.
Dream it, believe it, become it. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like the best light heavyweight in the world right now is Anthony Yarde. The best light heavyweight in the world within a couple of years, Anthony Yarde, until I retire. That's my mindset. And every other fighter is going to say the same. Every other fighter in their weight division should and would say the same. Because that's the whole part of the competitive nature. That's the competitive spirit. We want to be the best. And if we're not the best yet, we're going to be the best. That's the mentality.
You got more desire to fight Kovalev rather than some of the other light heavyweights just because he's the man who inflicted your only defeat?
Quite possibly. There's no animosity between me and Kovalev. He had something I wanted when I took on that challenge. They played it right. They offered the right money. They baited me into going to Russia, which I was always going to do because the money was right and it was big risk, big reward. I almost pulled it off, so I'm never going to look back and be like, I made the wrong decision, or I almost pulled it off. And within doing that, I always see it as like it's a journey, and the way my journey is going right now is fantastic. Not everybody finishes their career undefeated. You get what I'm saying? You get your odd person, Floyd Mayweather, Joe Calzaghe. You get your odd person. Not everyone does it, and that's not everyone's path. The biggest names, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, they were not undefeated. Do you get what I'm saying? Sugar Ray Leonard was not undefeated. Sugar Ray Robinson was not undefeated. And these are guys, the 3 or 4 names I just mentioned, in every list you will put down the greatest champions in history, they will be in every single list. Every single list. And they will, apart from Floyd, they will all suffer defeats. Some of them went on too long. Some of them suffered defeats in their prime. But it's how they bounce back that define them. So I watched the interview the other day with Mike Tyson and Sugar Ray Leonard. Touched me, man. It definitely touched me. Because to hear the way Mike Tyson still talks about boxing, it shows why he became who he was. And it's also saddening to see how he views himself. Even us, we look at Mike Tyson and say, Mike Tyson, like, you're everything in boxing, you motivate me, but he don't want to hear that. That depresses him. He don't like that guy that he used to be. The guy he was to become that person, he don't like that person no more. He wants to get rid of that person. Do you get what I'm saying? So it was sad for me to watch, man, because I always look at my Tyson like, if you're the man, you don't understand. I want to meet him one day and say, Tyson, this is what you've done for me. But he wouldn't want to hear it. Do you get what I'm saying? He was telling Sugar Ray Leonard, it was beautiful to watch, man, because all of what Tyson accomplished, he was looking at Sugar Ray Leonard like a god. He was like, man, you don't understand what you did for me. When I watched you when I was 13 years old and I was in juvenile, you made me change my life. You made me make that decision to start boxing. You get what I'm saying? And Sugar Ray Leonard's looking at it like, oh, like, thank you. And Sugar Ray Leonard was probably looking at Tyson like, this kid's amazing.
Yeah.
You see how life works? That's what I'm saying. It was a powerful interview, man.
I just want to ask you as well before we go, you mentioned the financial incentives of fighting Kovalev out in Russia. What have you been doing with the money, if that's not too, prying a question, and how has it changed your life?
The money's still there, you know. I'll be honest with you, the money's still there. I'm just trying to be smart. You invest right, you don't get excited. I feel like kids get excited with money. I feel like, I don't care how old you are. It ain't about age, it's about your mentality. I feel like kids get excited with money. Kids will get money and just go out there and buy all this stuff, disposable stuff. Obviously, I like nice things as well. I'm not going to act like I don't. But there's priorities in life, you know. I want to own a lot of homes. I want to invest in the right things. I want to multiply my money continuously and make myself... I want to be a smart businessman as well. Because after boxing, there's still a life that you got to live. Do you get what I'm saying? So you stay focused on boxing, but you set things in place. So after boxing, you ain't got to worry about nothing.
Brilliant. Well, it's always a pleasure, and look forward to watching you on the 11th of April. Cheers. Yeah. So.